NBA, like whatever terms you want to think about, but it's literally like half our league as owners want to pour in and give, and like it's going to do a great job, but like it is just blows my mind that like these other owners are doing the most bare minimum, and it's like sell your team and let other people who want to be a part of something great like put their money into it. You know what I mean? But
ladies and gentlemen, the code of silence in the WNBA has finally been broken. For months, we have heard rumors about stalled negotiations. We have heard whispers about a potential lockout, but we never knew the real reason why the league was on the brink of collapse until now. Sophie Cunningham, the Phoenix Mercury star and one of the few players who has consistently kept it real, just went on her podcast and dropped a nuclear bomb on the WNBA ownership groups. She didn't just complain, she exposed a massive secret civil war happening behind closed doors. She revealed that the league is currently split down the middle. On one side, you have the visionary owners who are riding the Caitlin Clark wave and investing millions. On the other side, you have the cheap owners, the parasites who are refusing to spend a dime, holding the entire league hostage, and driving the sport toward a catastrophic strike. Sophie Cunningham just became the whistleblower the fans needed, and her message to the bad owners was simple, brutal, and loud. Sell your team and get the hell out of the way.
Like this, like if we're gonna have a season, it has to happen within this next month of coming to an agreement. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lockout or strike, which is insane. Wouldn't that be insane?
Let's dissect the half and half comment, because it is the key to understanding this entire disaster. Sophie explicitly stated, half our league as owners want to pour in and give, and the other half just don't. This is a stunning admission. It confirms that we don't have a players versus problem, we have an owners versus owners problem. Think about what this means. You have franchises like the New York Liberty and the Indiana Fever who are looking at the Caitlin Clark economy, the sold-out arenas, the charter flights, the billions in TV money, and they are saying, let's go, let's build facilities, let's pay the players. But then you have the other half, the zombie franchises that have been happy with mediocrity for 20 years, who are looking at the bill and saying, we can't afford this. These cheap owners are the ones blocking the CBA deal. They are the ones refusing to agree to the revenue sharing. They are the anchors dragging the ship down while Caitlin Clark is trying to put wind in the sails. Sophie just exposed them, and now the fans know exactly who to blame if the season is canceled.
Air facilities with the Pacers.
So Gainbridge as a whole, that's where our locker room is, and that's where their game day locker room is. And then within the arena, it's called Salesforce Arena. That's like the practice arena. And so that's...
So not a dumb question, right?
No, not a dumb question.
Okay.
No, you're good. So that's kind of like where we practice all the time. We either practice there or on the main arena floor. And then the guys have their own practice facility that's attached under the ground. So it's a beautiful facility, but like the Fever, yeah, dude. And like we've seen the blueprint and it's about to be amazing. Like,
of course, and look, shout out to the owners who, despite not making...
The most fascinating part of Sophie's rant is her defense of the Indiana model. She talks about the new practice facility being built for the Fever, a world-class building that will set the standard for the league. And she admits, openly and honestly, that they are doing it because of Caitlin Clark. She says, of course, if I own the Indiana Fever, I'm going to spend every dollar. This is a massive shift in rhetoric. Usually, veteran players are jealous of Caitlin. They hate that she gets special treatment. But Sophie is different. She is smart. She understands that Caitlin Clark is the reason the money is there in the first place. She is effectively telling the other players, don't hate on Caitlin for getting a palace. Hate on your owner for keeping you in a shack. She is validating the Caitlin Clark economy and using it as a weapon to shame the cheap owners who are trying to ride Caitlin's coattails without paying the fare. But the warning Sophie issued about the timeline is what should have every fan terrified. She put a clock on the apocalypse. She said, if we're going to have a season, it has to happen within this next month. We are in February. The season starts in May. If a deal isn't signed in the next 30 days, Sophie says it will be a lockout or strike. That is not a threat. That is a promise. And here is where the panic sets in. Sophie mentions that some players feel safe because of other leagues like Unrivaled. But let's be real. Unrivaled employs 30 players. The WNBA employs 144. If the league shuts down because the cheap owners refuse to pay up, over 100 women are going to be unemployed instantly. Sophie is sounding the alarm that the safety net is an illusion. She is trying to wake up her fellow players and the public to the reality that we are 1 month away from total disaster. And then comes the nuclear option. Sophie's advice to the owners who don't want to spend money? Sell your team. I cannot emphasize enough how disrespectful and powerful that statement is coming from an active player. She is telling billionaires that they are broke. She is telling them that they are unworthy of the league's new era. She is saying, if you can't afford to play in the Caitlin Clark era, take your profit and leave. It is a sentiment that every fan agrees with. Why should the Connecticut Sun or the Dallas Wings hold back the growth of the Las Vegas Aces or the Indiana Fever? Why should the league move at the speed of its slowest member? Sophie is calling for a purge. She wants the dead weight gone so the league can actually fly.
Indiana Fever, yeah, I'm gonna go get a new practice facility. I'm gonna go spend every dollar. I'm gonna do all I can to woo Caitlin Clark so that she stays.
The embarrassment factor is also huge here. Sophie calls the situation weird and insane. She knows that the world is watching. She knows that the NBA players, the media, and the new fans are looking at the WNBA and laughing. You have the greatest product in the world right now in Caitlin Clark. You have momentum that money can't buy, and you are squandering it because a guy who bought a team for $10 million in 2005 is too cheap to pay for a better weight room in 2026? It is embarrassing. Sophie Cunningham is tired of being embarrassed. She is tired of having to apologize for her league's incompetence. She wants to be a professional, and she is realizing that half the people writing the checks are amateurs. This civil war explains everything. It explains why the CBA talks stalled. It explains why free agency is frozen. It explains why players are panicking. The good owners probably want to sign the deal. Joe Tsai in New York probably wants to give the players what they want. But he is being outvoted or blocked by the cheap owners, who are terrified of the new costs. Sophie Cunningham just ripped the curtain back and showed us the dysfunction. She showed us that the enemy isn't the league as a concept. The enemy is specific individuals who are hoarding wealth and refusing to invest in the future.
Love Sophie Cunningham. For one, she was the only one that first stood up for Caitlin Clark as she was being attacked by a bunch of mobsters on the Connecticut Sun, and Marina Mabry, Tina Charles, and J.C. Sheldon, a bunch of
The connection to Caitlin Clark here is vital. Sophie is one of the few veterans who defended Caitlin early on, and she is doing it again now, but in a different way. She is defending the business that Caitlin built. She is saying that the standard has been raised. Caitlin raised the floor and the ceiling. And if you are an owner who wants to operate like it's the old WNBA where nobody cared and nobody made money, then you don't belong here anymore. The Caitlin Clark standard demands excellence. It demands investment. It demands charter flights and state-of-the-art facilities. Sophie Cunningham is the messenger delivering the news. Evolve or die. So, as we watch the clock tick down on that 30-day deadline, remember Sophie's words. If the season is canceled, if Caitlin Clark doesn't play in May, do not blame the players for asking for their fair share. Do not blame Caitlin for asking for too much. Blame the other half. Blame the owners who looked at a gold mine and decided they didn't want to buy a shovel. Sophie Cunningham just gave us the roadmap to the truth. She put her career on the line to call out the billionaires. Now we have to wait and see if they have the shame or the money to finally do the right thing. But one thing is clear. The WNBA Civil War is no longer a secret, and the casualties are going to be the fans who just wanted to watch a basketball game. The countdown has begun, and thanks to Sophie, we know exactly who is holding the bomb.